guys, how's it going? It's Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I like this place. It's like facing a window, all natural light coming down on me, but at the same time it's actually blinding me. Like I can't see you guys well. Like where are you? Can't see the lens well, but anyway, what should we talk about? The State of Union Address, right? SOTU. It was funny, like I didn't know how to abbreviate that. In Japanese it's just 一般教書演説, so like I remember by that, and in English I'm like, what is that? Hey, by the way, for those who are new here, I am Japanese, like 100% Japanese. I was born and raised here in Japan, and I've lived all my life here, and I've never lived overseas, so sometimes I'm not familiar with English terms, you know, for especially in political field. But I could see that President Trump was making a speech, and it was a big deal. Like there was even like a poll, like how much percentage of the people in the United States approved the speech and so forth, like 76%, which is amazing. Congratulations. And I realized that it was that time of the year, and actually I didn't know the abbreviation SOTU, like I just remember by Sotu. It's like if you read that in Japanese it's like Sotu, so I remember by that. But anyway, but I didn't remember it well, like I didn't know the order. I looked up like SOTU, but like in different order because I remembered like wrongfully, but there were hits. I might have searched for like SUTO or whatever that I came up with, and there were people hashtagging that and criticizing President Trump for being dumb, and I'm like, who's the dumb one here who doesn't even remember the name of the speech that he was making and so on? Yeah. That's the world we live in. Anyway, now you know, or you're reminded that I don't understand English fully. There's this limit of me and my English understanding. So I didn't actually watch his speech, even though I love him. I just, you know, I just decided to instead read the full script in Japanese. I don't know what it was like, you know, people stand up, standing ovation and so on. I haven't watched that. I should after this, but like for now I just read the whole script, like full script of what President Trump said. So I just thought that, you know, I should make a video, and I think it's good enough for me anyway. There's somebody living here, so what I read was in Japanese, but still it's better than those Democrats in the US who judge President Trump by the image that mainstream media reports, right? I don't know how the mainstream media is actually bashing that speech. Like it was flawless, like it was so here's what I thought. As I was reading it, I was like, wow, like this is so beautiful, and this is true leadership. It's the kind of speech that makes you proud of being American. And I was like, I was in a weird place where like I was so touched by the speech, but at the same time I'm totally Japanese, and I'm like, I don't know how to react to that kind of thing. But I'm like, wow. Like right now I'm tearing up because I was that touched and moved by the speech. America, man, I just could see where the administration is coming from, you know. I actually like this part where I don't exactly remember the wording. I will try and look it up in English version, but Trump administration is trying to unite the country, and the country doesn't want divisions. That part showed where the administration is coming from, and I really like that. And I just don't understand how some people don't see that, you know. It's like you can see all the journey that the US has had, including like women voting and so on, and all the soldiers that sacrificed their lives to make the America today. All the brave soldiers that have fought for you, especially like withdrawing the troops from Middle East. It's such a tough decision to make politically because there are risks, you know, withdrawing the troops, but at the same time you've sacrificed so much. And especially since the inauguration of President Trump, the country grew so much, or maybe I should say that it went back to the greatness, but I don't know how you define. But I was like, wow, like this is really happening. Like new employments, 5 million, over 5 million people, and also another 5 million people, or maybe it's the same, I don't know, but like 5 million people are no longer on food stamp. Like, that's a huge deal. I had read before that Obamacare was actually killing the middle class, including the companies and so on. Knowing what Obama administration did to the US, now I look at all the economical aids that Trump administration is giving, like man, I don't know the term, but you know, it's fixing, it's working, and I just don't understand how some people still dare to ignore that, the improvement part, that it's actually happening. You see the outcome right there, you know, how dare you ignore that? Like, for what? Actually, I was watching Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez videos just because I thought it would be fun to watch. And one of the videos I watched of her, I think she was referring to when she won the election, but she was saying how the poll can be wrong, or that it's wrong, that she doesn't check the poll and so on. And I'm like, I don't know, like, okay, now it makes sense that she is where she is with the thoughts that she has. Like, yeah, she doesn't do the research, she doesn't gather information and actually analyze. She rejects all the data that's in front of her. And so some people like her will always reject President Trump no matter what. Or those who resist to President Trump or his administration, they are all projecting their fear and anger and whatever frustration that they have, or all the egoistic problem that they have privately have. They're projecting those onto President Trump and making up this demon that doesn't exist, and they're bashing, but actually it's the projection, like reflective version of themselves, their own problems, and it's just not politics. And the reason why they want to do that though is because they're freaking lazy, don't you think? If you're just angry at somebody, like let's say President Trump, like those Democrats, angry Democrats, they just blame President Trump for everything so that they don't have to deal with their own problem, even including the responsibility that they have as citizens. And I started to think about the picture like that, and then I started to feel sorry for all the hardworking Americans that are trying to solve the issues, for those lazy people as well. Lazy people, they don't even want to think. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, such a long name. She's a good example, you know. The reason why she has this radical thoughts as a socialist, I guess she's supposed to be democratic socialist, but it's a socialist. I was listening to her like occupying claim. It was so cut out, so I don't exactly know what she was saying, but if the title of the video was correct, she was saying how she wants to occupy all the airports and stations and that sort of, like, I guess infrastructure sort of things. And she was saying occupy everything, like nationalize everything. And she was like, oh, call me a radical if you want to. And I'm like, I will. People like her just doesn't want to think, you know. This world is more complex than dualism, right? Some people just want to think like, oh, there's good and bad, end of the story, so kill the bad guy and let's all be nice and so on. And I'm like, I feel like liberal people should be angry at that sort of thinking, you know. The world is more complex and you should respect diversity. If everyone had the same political thoughts with same taste and same values, then this world would lose the balance and go to like a weird direction, and there won't be any balance anymore. We will just lose it, like just lose it. We will lose all kinds of circulation and everything will not function. The mechanism of the world is very simple, but the world is complex. There are lots of different kinds of energy and power existing all at once, and we're keeping the balance. For that reason, I actually do embrace Democrats, because they are there to keep the balance of the world. Most of the things that they say are crap, but sometimes they do brings some interesting arguments and so on, and it deepens our values and wisdom, and I'm gonna embrace that. That's the way I think, but I feel like I'm getting more philosophical than political, so I apologize for that. Anyway, man, President Trump, he is getting more and more like a leader. Like, he's been a leader all along, and he's like the symbol of success. He's this fearless businessman with good sense, like survival sense. Like, I can't explain well, but he's been a good leader, but he's getting more and more like politically shaped, and I like how he is digging more and more conservative ideas as well. That this especially because I'm getting more and more spiritual, you know, here in Japan. I'm more into Shintoism and all kinds of spiritual things. I even like Western spiritual things as well, and even Christianity or other religions. I just appreciate all sorts of ideas and perspectives. And also, I got married, and I of course think about babies, right? We're not trying now, but it's not gonna happen until July at least. That's when we have a national election where we have to help, and yeah, politics comes first for us. Don't judge us, we're just a weird couple. It's okay, I'm still young. I feel like I'm 4,000 years old, but you know, I'm still young. What I wanted to talk about is the abortion thing that President Trump mentioned. What he said in the speech is absolutely right. I think in Japan we had like a huge controversy regarding abortion a kind of a long time ago, I guess. Like, I was not politically awakened yet at the time, so I don't know, but I hear that it happened here. And now we don't talk about abortions, but as for me, like personally, I just can't imagine killing the baby myself. Like, you know, after I got married, I started to go like, I don't know, I started to appreciate everything because I'm more and more spiritual. As I said, I started to embrace this beauty of life. And I know this is kind of gross and maybe a little dirty, or maybe I shouldn't, you know, this might be a little like too much information, but I'm an adult and you guys, I believe, are adults, so let's talk about this. So I started to think about virginity. I just started to think about women being a virgin until they get married and so on. I used to think like that's dumb. Like, you don't know how it goes with the person you're marrying in bed. Like, how can you do that? Like, whenever I imagined I would get fear and so on, like, how can somebody do that? After I got married with my husband, I started to think like, man, we use protection, and I started to think like, wow, that could have become a human, you know? That could have been a human, and I just rejected it, and I feel bad. Like, I can't believe I'm turning into this person. I used to be one of those liberals, you know, before, like, oh, it's my choice, and if anything goes wrong, I can always have an abortion, and that's the way of thinking that I had before. If it's like a tiny being, and then back then I didn't really care. Like, of course, if it was big enough, then I would think like, wow, that's too much. But I used to think it's like a dirty porn thing that we should all like not see, and, you know, make believe that it doesn't exist and babies magically pop up and so on. That's the kind of, you know, I was rejecting it, thinking that it's a dirty thing before. But now I look at those intercourse as something magical, because it is magical. The life comes down on this being and becomes a human. That nature is just so mysterious and so beautiful. And because my partner is somebody I truly love, I started to think like, wow, our love could be embodied, you know, by that action. Like, because I do want babies with him, I am like, wow, I missed the opportunity, and I actually rejected the opportunity that this baby wanted to come to this earth, and I feel bad. So I can't imagine like abortions, like after the life actually is born and you kill it. Like, how could you do that? Like, that's how I feel now. In Japanese, we say the babies are sazukarimono, like pretty much a gift, like something that you get gifted. It's not something that you make. And people often say make babies, but it's not something you make. It's something that you get, like you get gifted. You just become appreciative of the being is him or herself, and you also cherish it because it is given by this invisible power out there that you don't know how it works. Like you can biologically explain everything, but we never know. We don't know yet, right? All these liberal and socialist control freaks. Like I'm getting done with all this controlling people, you know? But for the same reason, we shouldn't try to control those idiots out there. They're trying hard themselves. With the limited amount of experiences and wisdom or knowledge that they have access to, they're trying their best. They're learning their own lesson. And sometimes they can be harmful for our lives or daily lives. But that's a challenge that we have. That with those in the picture, how do we survive? And that's what we should think about. And with that in mind, again, President Trump really laid out everything, especially those examples. He brought people, the actual people that he refers to, they were at the place, right? And I'm like, wow, like he literally brings people. I guess every president does that, but like bringing people together, and there are people experiencing lots of things, but the president, your leader, is there to support them, and that's just so beautiful. And those people on the left think that just because of the performance that President Trump gives, you know, stating things in a simple way, or being a little goofy, or having his assistants, like people think that he's writing it, right? But I'm pretty sure that there are people assigned for Twitter. Just because his tweets and so on, people judge on him. If you are politically aware, you know that he is the kind of person with madman theory. This is something that my husband was teaching me about yesterday. The example that my husband was using was the easiest to get. That, you know, if Mother Teresa says, I'm gonna kill you, which she would never say, but let's say that she would. Let's say that Mother Teresa said to you, she got really angry and she's gonna protect the children, and she's gonna say like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, murderer, or something like that. And if you compare that with Kim Jong-un going like, I'm gonna kill you, like who would be more threatening? Kim Jong-un, right? Like you never know what he would do. Mother Teresa, she would never kill anybody, you know what I mean? And President Trump's figure is something that you just can't read him. You know that he is a successful businessman with lots of common sense, and he knows a lot about the media and TV industry, and he has lots of celebrity friends, and he also has access to all kinds of brains in each field. But you never know what he comes up with and how far he goes, and it's like the unknown, right? And that's what's great about him, that it's his first time as a politician and he's a president, so you never know, like you cannot guess, like there's no information that you can base your opinion on or you can base your analysis on. So there are analysis here that it's like madman theory. You don't know how he comes to you and negotiate with you, and you are threatened and he actually gets what he wants in the end. And you can see all the great achievements that his administration has brought to the United States. You can see that in the speech that he delivered. I just really wish that our leaders, political leaders, were as mature like him. I know the leftists always say to you that President Trump is dumb and he's embarrassing and he's naive or bigot or whatsoever, but he is doing the job that other people cannot do. Like if it was an experienced politician, I don't think there would be these kinds of achievements, you know. Anyway, long story short, I really liked the speech, and I really just, my respects goes to all Americans for electing him. And he's such an amazing leader, and I'm just happy that my country and the US are in a good relationship right now. Man, I really have to, you know, pressure our politicians here because they need to do as good. I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart, that our politicians could learn from President Trump. Seriously. But anyway, I'm rambling, I know, but I hope you liked it anyway. If you want more of this free content, please support me on Patreon, so that I can keep doing these. Like, you know, if I don't make money out of making videos, then I have to get a normal job, 9 to 5, and we won't be talking anymore. And yeah. Oh, and most importantly, please subscribe to this channel. That's something I'm supposed to say very first, right? Oh well. I'll miss you guys, but I'll come back soon enough, okay? So have a beautiful, fantastic, amazing day from me, okay? I will talk to you soon. I almost did this.